So you're thinking about moving to Tampa, and with all the moving parts, your head is spinning and you're left searching for answers to questions like, where should you live? What are the affordable areas? Are there any areas with walkability? And what areas are gonna have the amenities that line up with the lifestyle I want? And so today, I'm gonna do my best to jam this video full of the questions that we hear most from folks just like you, looking to live in Tampa, Florida. And we're gonna get you some answers so that you can get ready for that big move. Hands down, the top question I get from people reaching out is, where should I live in Tampa? There's no one size fits all answer for this. Rather, I answer a question with a series of questions. I always refer back to your lifestyle and ask if you work from home or if you go into the office. Are schools important? And are you okay with living in a master plan community packed with families, or do you prefer a quieter setting? Is access to downtown Tampa and the city important to you, or possibly access to the airport if you travel often? Maybe you're moving to Tampa to retire, and being in a community like Del Webb would be beneficial with a full calendar of events, pickleball, and maintenance-free living with others that are similar in age to you. There's a lot of things here to consider and think through, but let's talk first about affordability because that seems to come up often these days. I think we can all agree the home prices have risen over the last 3 years, and understanding what affordability looks like now is important. When we look at the stats in the Tampa metro, which is Tampa, St. Pete, and Clearwater, the median sales price is just over $400,000. So naturally, affordable would be anything under that, or let's just say homes in the 300,000s. Currently on the market, there are over 9,000 homes available for sale, but less than a third of those would be considered affordable by our standards. Breaking things down by county, Hillsborough County currently has 962 homes under 400,000. Pasco County has 900 homes under 400,000, and Pinellas, which covers St. Pete and Clearwater, only has 422 homes considered affordable. And keep in mind, these are 3 major cities, and there's a lot of waterfront between the bay and the beaches, so you won't have a problem finding luxury properties. But rule of thumb is, if you want to find more affordable options, start looking inland and go north or go east of the city, or if you want in the city, look for a fixer-upper because of many of the homes within the city limits are older and you might find a deal. Continuing to dive into the real estate data, our most popular price range is $500,000 to $600,000. And buyers are not shying away from that $1 million plus range either. Our metro has just come alive with both downtown Tampa and St. Pete being revamped. In addition to other new developments like the Tampa Riverwalk and Water Street, location is king once again. In areas like South Tampa, waterfront estates, and luxury condo living in our downtowns, they're on fire. This really makes me start to think about how much variety Tampa Bay has when it comes to housing options, and I love that we have those options. You can now find high-rise condos in our downtown areas that have 24-hour concierge in the lobby with rooftop pools and fitness rooms, along with co-working spaces and dog walks. Then you can find historic neighborhoods like Palmacia, Bayshore, or the historic Old Northeast in St. Pete with these sprawling estates. Or how about century-old bungalows in areas like the Heights or historic Kenwood? I'm personally a fan of 1970s homes in areas like Carrollwood, where nothing is cookie cutter. And how about lakefront living? We have tons of lakes north of Tampa that give room to stretch out and a little slice of paradise with your own private water view. But maybe city living isn't your thing. Maybe you want to live on the outskirts of the city and you want that new home smell. Well, we have that too. On a weekly basis, I get asked, is it better to buy resale or maybe a new construction home in Tampa? Well, that depends on your preferences and the questions that I posed at the beginning of this video. Now, I would say about 70% plus of my home buyers right now strongly are considering new construction, and here's why. If you have a budget of, let's say, $800,000 and you want a sought-after area like Carrollwood that has over 4,000 homes in it, you're left with only 10 homes or so to choose from, and you'll most likely still have to renovate something to make it feel like home. Meanwhile, if you go about 20 minutes further away from the city to, let's say, something like Wesley Chapel, you can choose from hundreds of brand new homes where you won't have to worry about updating the roof, the HVAC, windows, or any major items right after moving in. With resale homes, you know you're closing in about 30 days, and that's nice, but I find many buyers just fly in, explore the areas, and choose a home, then go back home, and eventually make their move to Tampa when their home is finally completed, and they're absolutely fine with that. I have become a huge fan of our new construction homes, and I love that they cater to just about everyone. They do a good job offering affordable options with homes like in the top areas. You can still find those to the low to mid 400,000s. Then you have multi-generational options because as prices have risen, we've started to see families living together, and in-law suite has become a valuable add-on. D.R. Horton has the Camden model, which typically ranges plus or minus around 550,000 and comes with its own in-law suite and living space. Then we have seen larger homes like the Grand Sail 3 from MI Homes that has over 5,000 square feet and tons of options for those larger families. And on the more luxurious side of things, the Osprey 3 from Biscayne Homes with that courtyard pool is a fan favorite. And folks, let me show you Homes by West Bay. They are a Florida-grown home builder and their designs are stunning. They are known for the wow factor with wood beams accenting 12-foot ceilings, gourmet kitchens with extended islands, and the list goes on and on. Choosing between new construction and resale can be a tough one when moving to Tampa. I think both are very viable options, but in addition to that new home feel that you just can't beat, I find people falling in love with the new master plan communities. The new lagoon communities look like you're in the Caribbean and they're just out of this world. Then you have some like Watersat and Apollo Beach that have 4 community pools, miles of trails with fitness stations, playgrounds, a sports complex, dog parks, and a calendar of events. Some of these new master plan communities are simply amazing, especially if you have kids, because it creates a sense of community where the little ones can meet new friends and just it gives them a social life outside of school. And folks, I mentioned kids because I have 2 little ones, but these communities are not just limited to families with kids. They're amazing for everyone. Who wouldn't want to head down to the lagoon in the morning to get a quick paddleboard in, then dry off, open up the laptop with the lagoon hotspot on, and crank out a couple emails from the lawn chair? But these communities, they don't come without a cost. Most master plan communities have fees such as an HOA and/or a CDD fee. In a nutshell, they are fees that cover building and maintaining the amenities that everyone loves, and you'll see these fees range a bit, but typically they'll be right around a few $100s a month. And to be honest, there are some folks that simply could care less about the amenities. So the question that comes next is, where can I find a home with no HOA? Well, I actually dug into the numbers, and remember those 9,000 plus homes I told you were on sale in the metro currently? Well, more than half of them have an HOA. So question remains, where are those homes without the fees? Well, Pinellas County has 2,452 homes without an HOA. Hillsborough County has 1,554, and Pasco with only 1,003. This is mainly because the cities of Tampa, St. Pete, and Clearwater were built out decades ago, and the older homes typically aren't in a community setting, which would lean towards an HOA development. In Pasco, the communities are newer, and same goes for the southeastern suburbs as you get away from the city. That being said, pretty much anywhere in the city won't have an HOA, or if you prefer a little more land, look to the outskirts, but most likely it won't be in a planned community setting. Anytime you have a community with all those bells and whistles and it's newer, you can pretty much expect to have some sort of fee involved with it. They go hand in hand. Included with the topics of new homes versus older homes, insurance questions always pop up. I want to address that in one sec, but while I have your attention, if you're looking for a home in the Tampa Bay area, please reach out to my team, as we would love to help you and your family find your next home. Our info is right there on the screen, and we'd love to help. Homeowners insurance. This is something that I hear about all the time, and it's a concern for the entire state, not just Tampa. So here's the cliff notes. Over the last few years, there has been small companies door knocking saying they can fight the insurance companies due to storm damage and you can get a brand new roof. If there was actual damage, it may make sense for the insurance company to cover it. However, in many cases, it was fraudulent, and the insurance company is fighting a legal battle and paying attorney fees for absolutely no reason. As this became more prominent, the insurance companies decided to leave Florida, leaving very little competition, and the cost of insurance began to rise. The cost of insurance on an older home, which as we know now is a large part of homes in the Tampa Bay metro, has risen substantially, as there is more risk with an older home than a brand new one, and there's sometimes brand new homes can be less than half of the cost. Again, another reason why some of my clients ended up choosing new construction homes. But there is some hope at last, as we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel here in 2024. A handful of insurance companies have returned to the area this year, and I was able to shave off around 25% of my insurance bill with one of those new companies. Now let's talk about jobs. I think a lot of people associate Tampa with hospitality and tourism because there's a lot of it. I mean, just looking at our attractions like the zoo, the Florida Aquarium, and Busch Gardens. Then we have some of the best beaches in the country, and the Tampa Riverwalk, it was ranked one of the top riverwalks in the country for the past 2 years. So it's part of the city's fabric to have a lot of hospitality jobs. But part of the growth with the city includes the companies and businesses we're starting to attract, and we're starting to see new jobs that are higher paying now. We've been in the spotlight as one of the top emerging tech cities. Our medical sector is exploding, and our professional services are gaining traction. And so I'm really excited to see the direction in which Tampa is headed. But that being said, our wages are still below other major cities, but so is our cost of living compared to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and many other similar metros across the country that people are moving here from. We also have no state income tax, and you really have to look at the trade-off where you're coming from, because while Tampa is definitely more expensive than it's ever been, the quality of life typically tilts the scales. Part of the quality of life that people move here for is the outdoors and the amazing weather most of the year. And so people often ask me, where are the walkable areas in Tampa or the neighborhoods with walkability? When it comes to transportation in Tampa, we heavily rely on having your own car or way to get around because most of the city is residential. I think the city is becoming more aware of the need for more walkable areas, and they're doing their best to incorporate this in the new developments around town. For example, the downtown Tampa and downtown St. Pete areas have done a great job with lining restaurants, museums on the boardwalk, along with waterways mixed in with retail shops and parks, creating new walkable areas for locals. In Tampa, we have areas now like High Park Village, Midtown, Armature Works, and Water Street that create a place where you can grab an Uber or simply walk around from venue to venue. Living in High Park, downtown St. Pete, Dunedin, and West Chase, you'll find small main streets with shops and dining, but for the most part, walkability from neighborhoods doesn't really exist. But that's not to say it won't in the near future. Now, how about the things to do in Tampa? Well, this is the biggest reason people move here. Most people know our beaches, and by now you probably have heard of things like the Riverwalk and Busch Gardens, but how about the art and culture scene? Or the fact that we have endless restaurants, including a few Michelin restaurants for you real foodies. There's fishing and water sports. You can root for your favorite major sports team, and you can catch a concert at the Amalie Arena or Broadway-style show at the Strass Center. Our calendar of events is loaded, and there is something to do every single weekend. No, really, every Thursday I post the things to do calendar for the weekend on my Instagram, and I laugh because of how much there is going on here. And what's funny is, I do most of these things with my kids because of how family friendly it is here. People often ask me if Tampa's safe and if it's family friendly, and my go-to answer is, I rarely feel unsafe based on the places that I go. I walk the Riverwalk and the Water Street area in downtown Tampa at night with my wife. I take my kids everywhere with us, including concerts and sporting events. You can safely go for a stroll at sunrise or sunset on the beaches, and even the breweries are family friendly, as some of them put lawn games out for the kids. But can you really enjoy all this with the crazy weather? I mean, the summer heat and those hurricanes that smash us every year. At least that's what most people say that aren't from here. Yes, we have to be prepared for hurricanes, but Tampa hasn't had a direct hurricane in over 100 years. I currently live on the water, and my 1970s home has never flooded. The summers are hot, but that's what you head to the beach and jump in the water or plan a cookout by the pool. The other 9 months of the year, it's amazing. And when it's 70 degrees in February and others are out there still shoveling snow, you start to appreciate the Tampa weather just a bit more. Now, maybe you're thinking of moving to Tampa to enjoy the great weather, the endless things to do, or maybe your job is bringing you here. Whatever the reason is, we want to be your real estate team of choice. Reach out to my team and we would be happy to help you find the best home for you and your family. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our weekly content. Let us know in the comments what you've learned about today. And until that next video, I'll catch y'all later. Woo!